Okay, welcome back to John's Fiddle Lessons. This is part 3 of a beginner video where we take a fiddle, and this is a cheap fiddle that I bought off of eBay for $55, and we set it up. So we've done everything right. It's still sort of tuned, but as it turns out, horsehair on steel doesn't make any sound at all. It requires rosin. Now rosin is thankfully provided for us in the fiddle case. So I opened this up. This came with it. It's sort of a blonde rosin, and this is the first time I've seen it, but I don't particularly care for the blonde rosin because it seems like it cracks. It's more brittle. Darker rosin seems, well, I live in a cold climate, so it's hard to say. Relatively cold. So you see the way it's constructed there. It has a certain thickness to it, and it's tuned this way. You see it has some little walls to help guide the bow. And so you put the bow right like that on there, and sort of guide it with your finger. You can slide it up and down and put rosin onto the bow hairs. Usually made of horsehair. But first of all, let's tighten it up. Now the anatomy of the bow, here's the end. There's the hair. Down here is called the frog, and there's a little tuner there where you can turn it. This screw tightens the hair. Do you see when I do that? It tightens the bow. The reason you do that is because you don't want to store it while it's taut. You want to store it loose. And so when I store a bow, I loosen it like that until the hair, till you see some separation, a little bit of separation right there in the hair, just like that. Okay, and then to play it, you tighten it. How tight do you make it? That's a good question. When you play the fiddle and pull the bow across the strings, you don't want really the bow to touch the wood. So I tighten it, okay? Tighten it up just like that until when I play it across the strings, the hair doesn't touch the wood. But I don't get it much tighter than that because you don't want to warp the bow. And so then you loosen it to put it to sleep back in its container. It fits right in here like this, and there's a little locking peg that holds it in place. Okay, then to remove it, you turn that peg and it pulls right out. Okay, but you loosen it because sometimes it'll tighten up due to changes in temperature or humidity, and when it does, if it's already tight and it tightens more, you'll warp the bow. It'll go left or right. Left or right, it'll start to warp. Okay, so we get it the right tautness, just like we did before, so that when we play it across the strings, the wood doesn't touch the hair. Looks good. Now, this is brand new rosin, and so it's real fine. If I start dragging the bow across it, it'll take it a long time to eat into that. Let me reach in my pocket here. I just pulled out a quarter, and I'm going to etch up the surface of the rosin just like this. And now you see it's all nice and scratched up with the quarter. And so I flaked rosin all over my table here. And now I can take it, put it right in the middle of the rosin, and begin to go back and forth. So I'm going to do this. This is going to take me actually about 5 minutes. So woo! Okay, I'm through rosining this bow for the first time. Like I said, it took about 5 minutes. I sped it up on the video. And now I'm done. You can see I'm already starting to wear a little groove in the rosin. And when this rosin is finished, I'll have worn that groove all the way down to the plastic. And then I'll buy a new cake. And so let me put the rosin back into the case. Very good. Now this fiddle is rosin. I don't have to do that again. So now when I get the rosin out, I'll do maybe 10 strokes in the center and about 5 more on each end for a total of 20 strokes, and I'll be ready to go, depending on how much I play. If I don't play very much, I don't rosin very much. If I play a lot, I rosin a lot. Let's Like, I'm going to turn my tuner back on, and we'll check the tuning again. You can tell it's still stretching a bit. Let me tune it with the large tuner, with the coarse tuner. Close enough. Let's take a listen. Hey, not bad. I'm pretty happy. All right, next step. Playing some scales and learning how to read tablature. Stay tuned.